since the announcement of the education cuts in the recent government budget, we watched parents, children and teachers alike rally towards this demonstration today on the 6th of December on the streets of Dublin. And my God, have they exceeded the expectations of a crowd of 50,000. Let's catch up with some of the real emotion on the streets now. Barbara, fantastic crowds out here today to support the demonstration.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
How is this affecting you and your own community and family?
Well, it would. My son, he's in secondary, and it would be kind of a disadvantaged school, so they would be losing a lot of staff, and it would affect the education of them going on for the higher levels, and they'd lose a lot of teachers. And it's a special needs school for the impaired as well, so everyone's affected, and I think it's disgraceful that children, they're our future for this country, and to affect them like this, it's just appalling.
What ideal reaction would you like from the government after today's march?
I'd love them to back down and admit they were wrong. They're just wrong, and it's just a very emotional day. I think the buzz here and all, but hopefully they wake up and smell the coffee and let the kids have their education and their future, because they'll be old men soon.
Mary, it's not just the teachers that are out today, the parents also.
We're all here to support our kids. At the end of the day, it's not only our kids, it's for our kids. Mine are actually in secondary and primary school at the moment.
How is it going to affect you?
It's going to affect me big time, because my secondary child is going to be allowed to come home from school, which is a load of crap. They're not allowed to go home when they're sick. We have to go and collect them. My kids won't. He's looking for woodwork. He mightn't get it next year. And I mean, then there's one I have in college, and now they're looking for 1,500 euros. It's ridiculous. We can't afford it. I haven't got it. 900 euros to go for college this year. I'm a single parent, and I'm not able to do it.
There is some amount of people power here today. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's very timely, because we're not just talking about our own jobs, obviously ourselves, but it's really the future of our children in terms of all of the services that have been built up over the number of years. Children in our schools only get one opportunity, and even if any of this is reversed in years to come, they have lost out in their time in school. So it's absolutely important that communities work together to make sure that these education cuts are indeed reversed.
Do you believe that the whole of the parents' communities all around the country have been educated enough to the education cuts and how they're going to affect communities?
I think it is a process. I think it will possibly be some time before a lot of parents realise the full extent of these cuts. When the school book grants are withdrawn, when the charges for school transport go up, it possibly hasn't entered some people's kind of consciousness that is the case. But schools are doing the best they can, and teacher unions to explain the reality of the cuts on the ground, as it will affect their children and their futures.
Well, without doubt, today's demonstration should aid in the government looking back on their cutbacks and perhaps moving forward for a better future in education.
Absolutely. Well, the people who are paying for, the mistakes of the developers and the banks are the vulnerable, the elderly, and in this case, the young children. The people who have done well out of the boom haven't been asked to pay their fair share. They will sit it out and they will do well again. But meanwhile, the people who are vulnerable, the children, and indeed the elderly earlier, are being asked to carry the brunt of the cutbacks. So it's simply not acceptable from our point of view.
Mary, there is fantastic support on the streets today for this demonstration. How is it affecting you, or where do you see this affecting your community?
Yeah, well, what I think what's good about this demonstration is that people are all mixed. There's no groups just keeping in their own group. We're all here together. We're united against the cuts. There are people with a really passion for education, and I don't think the government really thought this through as in the other cuts.
Rosing, what are the most serious cutbacks that you've noticed so far in the government's recent budget?
Well, what I would fear is what's coming, that students who are doing LCA, TY and all the other extra programmes that we have on board now, that's all going to be cut back, and some of these children may end up dropping out of school. And I think that's terribly serious. Also, children from other countries who have been part of our school now, they're not going to have the English support system that we've been giving them, and I think that's horrendous. They're going to be completely lost, and we're supposed to be Ireland of the hospitality, you know.
Well, Ger, you're out in force with the family here today for the demonstration. How is it affecting your life?
I just have another son as well who's actually special needs, and I'm afraid his resource is going to be cut, and I'm afraid their class size is going to be diminished as well. And long term, their future in education, it's so uncertain. I just feel we should be here today to make our voice heard, and someone listen to us, please, because it's the future. The minister doesn't seem to be looking any further than his nose at the moment. Like in 10 years' time, the whole Celtic Tiger, they took advantage and said, oh, we did this, we're brilliant. And now suddenly they're cutting off the education funds. That's the wrong way to go about things, and it's not fair. It's hurting people on the ground, it's not fair.
It's all about getting people mobilised. We see it on the streets here today in Dublin. There's so much emotion flying around today.
Because everybody's been affected. It's affecting everybody from, look at these kids here in buggies. It's going to affect them in the future. It's everybody's future. It's my future as well. Like when I'm a pensioner, please God, where's my pension going to come from? Everyone has been affected from down here to up here, and that's the bottom line. Is the whole country has been affected by these cuts.
What